Hello everyone. This lecture is a part of your paper on gender, media and society. This lecture will help you to understand the effects mass media have in the society, especially in a country like India. First and foremost, let's start with media impact. Other than informing, educating and entertaining the audience, mass media have some degree of accountability to transform a traditional society into a modern one. Media are powerful agents of change, particularly in the developing world. The issues which are set as agenda by the media normally becomes the agenda for the policymakers as well. In the modern times, any dialogue on the public sphere remains deficient unless taken into account the function of the media in depicting the apprehensions of the resident. Media reflect the contradiction and consensus among the people on any issue. Further, according to Gangopadhyay and Basu 2016, mass media has an important role to play of instructing, educating and socializing the members of the society. Media has a significant gatekeeping and agenda setting function. The gatekeeping function of media comes into play when major news organizations selectively pick stories to reach the audience. Moreover, media also sets public agenda by highlighting some issues as of immediate importance while discarding others. Thus, a large section of the society is impacted by the media. Many major social scientists in Western countries believe that development in the third world countries is possible only through modernization, which can be brought around by the proper usage of mass media. Daniel Lerner, in his work The Passing of Traditional Society, subtitled Modernizing the Middle East, regarded mass media as mobility multipliers, forces which would motivate the people to turn their back on tradition and embrace modernization. This very statement implies that media exerts huge impact on the way society perceives several aspects of life. The issues which are set as agenda by the media normally becomes the agenda for the policymakers as well as the public agenda. Mass media exposes people to varied subjects which may help in improving their standards of life. India, like any other developing country, is weighed down by huge population, problems of nutrition, healthcare and basic education for all. Here, the people, especially in backward areas, are mostly illiterates, lying in a time wrap of the pre-independence era in relation to social customs and traditions. In a developing country like India, where illiteracy is rampant, the reach of print media is limited. Yet, the written word is not transit and has special significance and can have a great role in fermenting public opinion and setting agenda through news and views. Yet, the print media has consistently ignored the issue of education, though it stands to gain in readership if it encourages literacy or educational issues in some form. It is quite evident that education takes a back seat to headlines on politics, crime, and other sensational stories. Next, moving on to radio. Radio, on the other hand, is the real medium of the masses, as it is totally accessible all over the country and cheaply available. Transistors sets make it a medium within the reach of the poor, both in the urban and rural India. The ordinary Indian still depends on it for news, information, and entertainment. Government controlled All India Radio or Akashvani is still very much into public service and gives a lot of stress on developmental programs, especially aimed at rural people. With advent of television, radio has been delegated a second slot in urban areas, but it has staged a comeback from the mid-1990s with FM station catering to local tastes and talents. In the 21st century, radio has been relaunched in a new mold via popular FM. Government monopoly in FM radio circuit ends as many private players enter the broadcasting scene in the cities and towns. Privatization in radio has resulted in deep inroad into big city listening. Many private FM operators have taken license from the government and set up radio stations. However, their contents are mostly entertainment oriented with popular film-based songs. The private broadcasters have primarily a profit motive. Hence, their program content is mostly entertaining in nature. Around the clock, these stations dish out popular Hindi film songs, music albums, both Indian and Western, along with celebrity chats. Very few educative or informative programs for any particular group are broadcast. It has to be kept in mind that FM caters to urban middle class listeners. Hence, they discuss such issues which the broadcasters think may be of interest to them. The reason is strictly commercial, as revenue earning is the prime objective of these FM radio stations. Public service is not an important item on their agenda. To To make a summary, radio is the least offensive of all media as it happens to be an oral medium in which visuals are absent. Then comes cinema. Films in India have a special place in the society. People of all age groups, economic and social classes watch films produced in India. This country leads in film production annually the world over. Films are produced both in Hindi, the national language, and in other regional languages. The film industry retains its hold on mass audience despite the challenge from television and other media. Film actors and actresses are very popular with the masses and are treated like identity. Film exerts a great impact on the viewing public. Among Indians, in spite of high illiteracy rates and low accessibility to mass media, television and radio are by far the most popular mediums of entertainment as well as information. Television is a medium not merely for the purpose of entertainment, but also to transmit public knowledge and shape public opinion on wide range of issues from politics to development. The government-controlled public television network Doordarshan in the late 1980s and early 1990s have telecasted some development-oriented soap operas on theme like family planning, family health and welfare, education, etc. Moving on to globalization and the Indian society. Consumerism aided by globalized media has been instrumental in fermenting widespread and rapid growth of ideas of all kinds ranging from economic to cultural at a great pace and intensity. This advancement has direct impact on the social behavior and cultural attitudes of this region. In early times, mass media have been informative, educative and entertaining in that order. In recent times, entertainment gets the same priority as information. Thakur 2002 felt that the Western culture which is seen in India today is actually the capitalistic culture which has arrived in India as an offshoot of globalization. Further, Kutty 2003 felt that forces of globalization hog limelight and operate freely by gaining dominance over the cultural traditions of a country. The indigenous culture's features are done away with by putting forward appealing concepts like global village, cultural proximity and universalism. Muej 1998 suggested the often heard argument for standardized marketing and advertising approach is that consumers worldwide will eventually adopt similar habits, customs and values. The audio-visual media have received the maximum effect of globalization, especially increasing popularity of television, radio, FM, internet and films in the beginning of new millennium. This advancement has a direct impact on cultural attitudes and social behaviors. According to Haripriya 2005, mass media are cultural forces which do not reflect but indirectly shapes society. Television is known to be a powerful force which exposes people to diverse subjects which may make an impact on their standard of living or their attitude towards life. The image of consumerism is transmitted with global cultural content through international mass media. India is no exception to it. According to Gangopadhyay and Datta 2010, the consumerist and agendas of globalized media and MNCs have impact on the economic fabric as well as the socio-cultural fabric of the nation. Media has affected public opinion on a wide range of subject and viewpoints. Through satellite channels, various ideas imported from the West has led to positive ideas, views and avenues which have helped in the educational and professional advancement of youth and children. Women are depicted differently from the stereotypical images generally associated with them. Some movies and serials from the Western countries portrayed progressive women at par with men in different walks of life. According to Roy and Gangopadhyay 2012, public are exposed to these standardized commercials and entertainment messages, and in the process they assimilate social and cultural behavior which are different from the existing social and cultural norms. Researchers 1997 opinioned cultural imperialism has two major goals. One, economic and other political, to capture market for their cultural commodities and to establish hegemony by shaping popular consciousness. Cultural domination is an integral dimension of any sustained system of global exploitation. Hall 1991 felt that global mass culture follows a concept of homogeneity in exchanges, and hence all consumers are expected to have same tastes and no cultural diversity. Gangopadhyay and Datta 2007 observed that globalization is leading to a change in the Indian society. In India, traditionally, there has been joint family structure, though nuclear families were also found in urban areas. In the present times, it has been observed that nuclear families are becoming common and there are new concepts gaining ground among educating urban youth like live-in relations. Divorce rates are on a rise as marriages are breaking due to many reasons like stress and strain of modern life and mostly unrealistic materialistic expectations by either of the spouses. Middle class of India are going through a churning where their indigenous culture roots are facing an onslaught from the consumerist culture propagated through globalized mass media. The basic value of urban Indian society are changing due to consumerism. Ravel 1998 views where commitment towards marriage is disappearing as a result of modernization as well as globalization in India. Global media even portrays unconventional and deviant content or themes which may not be suitable with existing social standards. However, repeated exposure of such messages, commercial or otherwise, may take public reactive to such themes even though they may not accept them. Williams 1977 said, global culture constantly changes social norms to accommodate emergent alternatives and oppositional meanings, values and practices. Gangopadhyay 2003 felt, media portrays women as either traditional or homebound or else as westernized and outgoing. Women with balanced characteristics who are quite common in society are hardly given representation. Now we'll discuss about media and youth. Atyal 2007 felt that media uses youth as target audience for media campaign as the impact is high and long term. Media targets youth for long term commercial benefits. Youth are impressionable and open to new thoughts which make them vulnerable to various influences from outside. This is an age when peer groups play a very important role. Youth always wants freedom, search for individual identity and sexual interest. It is a period when they search questions, doubts and weigh down the success as well as failure. This exploration, curiosity and adventure can at times go beyond socially accepted norms. If media messages with profit motive are allowed to appear in the name of business strategy, it will make a slow but significant negative impact on the culture and value system of the country. Atyal 2007 raised an alarm and said that the urban Indians have changed a lot of their cultural values as a result of impact of TV and industrialization. There is much of westernized culture in channels which cater to the youth. The music videos and serials which target the youth are consciously projecting an elitist and consumerist lifestyle, wearing designer label of accessories, visiting pubs and discotheques in past times and enjoying to the fullest on Valentine's Day and New Year's Eve is what youth feel modernity is all about. Issues of immediate concern like drug addiction, unemployment problems, etc. are sidetracked by happening issues like talent hunts. Gonsalves 1998 felt that teenagers are the most global market of all. Media influences and inspires them to follow the trend set in the media content. Children from an early age get engrossed in cartoons, actions and sports channel where content and advertisement target their impressionable minds. At times, the programs depict children with adult-like qualities in dress and attitudes. They leave behind a strong impact on the eager onlookers who try to follow their role models. Moving on to technological impact, Gangopadhyay and Kumar 2013 opinioned that in the past decade has seen advances in information technology which facilitates a global communication network which pervades geographical and national boundaries. This has a direct impact on social behavior, public policy and cultural identities across the world. India over the years has witnessed vibrant, pluralistic and diverse media. There are professionals of international standards and an indigenous broadcast technology that is low cost. Lastly, in terms of freedom, it enjoys and qualitative journalism that it offers in the South Asia. Indian medium is unparalleled. Summing up this lecture, we learned that mass media do not always mirror the occurrence of the society. In its place, they select and prefer some facets of actuality and depict it to the general public from their own viewpoint. Mass media have the commitment for developing social awareness and implications, therefore, for the people to act upon and alongside entertain in some format to a large audience. However, mass media are found to serve the interests of mostly the larger and dominant group. Hence, the messages mostly have to conform, if not totally, at least partially to the established norms and beliefs of the majority. Even though mass media is expected to be a truthful reflection of reality and going on in society, media consumers tend to accept messages that reinforce their traditional values and stereotyped views. Though the forms and content of the mass media has changed with time, yet to continue to transmit stereotyped messages. Hope you enjoyed this lecture. For more details, please read the e-text of this lecture properly and attempt the questions in the end. Thank you.